Hey everybody, Always Dizzy here, and I'm back with another round report, this time from round 5 of the 2024 BC Open. Now, before I forget, because I actually I was planning to do this in some previous videos, but I kept forgetting. I just wanted to show a few more images from the tournament. I've already done that with some, I showed some video footage and various images, photos already. But yeah, here's some more. If I can get that loaded here. Should appear, boom. There we go. Okay, that was a bit of a delay. So it's just me at the tournament. I didn't play on one of the DGT boards today because, at this tournament because I just was never in the on board 1 or board 2. Okay, so that's me pondering. I'm trying to think, looking at the board position, what round that is. That might have been round 2 or 3. I'm not sure. In any case, that's one photo, and then I'm just going to, you're going to get a close-up of me, unfortunately. Because I don't have the photos in order, and I don't want to show other photos here. Okay, and then I just had 2 more photos to show. I'm not sure if I showed this one already. I might have showed this before. I don't think I did, though. It's just a photo. I didn't, whoops, shoot. I did show that one already. But this is just a photo from the event. Another photographer took it. But it shows, I'm actually not sure who this is. I don't think this is Bindi Chang. It's possible it is, but it doesn't really look like him. It might be, though. Yeah, if this is Bindi Chang, then he's the top rated player in BC, over 2,400. And this is the arbiter, who's also an IM. And this is another IM, Raymond Kaufman. And I believe this is actually one of my former opponents who has commented in these videos before, Jose Kagoin. Oh wait, I might have mispronounced it again. Kagawan. Yeah, I think he corrected me on my pronunciation. I think it's Kagawan. Jose Kagawan. In any case, that's a photo. Okay, and then here's another one of just the plain venue. I was usually sitting over to the left, or this direction, more, because this on the far, like this section down here was the under 1000s, this was the under 1400s, and then this was the under 1800s, and then this was the premier section. And the lowest boards started here, and then they worked their way up this way. So I was usually up here, off. Yeah, the room is twice as big as you see in the photo here. So, okay, just thought I'd share that because why not? Okay, and then getting back to the game. Okay, so just as a recap, I was just coming off of a good previous day where I had 2 wins, and my score was 3 out of 4. So I was pretty pleased with that. So going into this day, the final day, I was hoping to maybe get 2 wins, because 2 wins would yield me a trophy, like, because there were trophies for top 3 places and some prize money. Yeah, so I was hoping, and I actually managed. Okay, well, first of all, yeah, I was paired up against Oliver Dalton, who I don't think had many tournament games. He might have only had 2 regular tournaments. Oh, voice is already getting strained. Yeah, I think he might have only had 2 regular tournaments, and the rest were quick rated tournaments, unless I'm misremembering him with somebody else. And yeah, he was rated only 1375, but underrated. I mean, if you only play 2 tournaments, and like it's very rare for you to have a rating that is like higher than, let's say, 1500, depending on the tournament, of course. And what's interesting is I actually managed to prepare against him pretty decently. I actually found both his lead chess and his chess.com accounts, which I was pretty proud of because they weren't simple to find. Like yeah, they were not simple to find. And at first I wasn't 100% sure if they were his, but then the more I cross-referenced and everything, I'm like 99.9% sure they are his. But as is almost always the case, even though I looked at his games, there's rarely ever any surprises in the opening that I don't already know or have in my repertoire already. Just because players at this level, at my level, don't really go very deep. And I know my opening's more deep than I should. No. But yeah, I did manage to just review what he played. And I think it was this round. Oh yeah. I think it was this round. But I was positioned at a higher board because I was 3 out of 4. So I was like in the, I think, top 5 boards. And the new placement where I was sitting, there was a flickering light above me. And not just like a once every minute little flicker, like a non-stop flicker. It was like a strobe light effect. It was just like, and the room was actually fairly dimly lit to begin with, and the curtains were drawn. Well, what's it called when they're shut? That doesn't mean drawn, right? They were not drawn. The curtains were closed, and so it was really distracting me, and like it was lighting up the board, and I don't know. I'm very sensitive to these types of things, and I even like told my opponent, I'm like, that's really distracting, like, and it was so bad that I almost wanted to complain to the organizers about it, but the ceilings are so high, they weren't going to fix it. I mean, there wasn't really much they could do. Maybe they could have opened up the curtains to make the room brighter so it wouldn't be as noticeable. Maybe we could have done that. But it didn't really seem to bother my opponent. Yeah, but it did really bother me. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say just how much it was flickering. Reading my notes here. It did get fixed in the next round, though. So I'm assuming somebody else might have complained, or maybe they even noticed it themselves, the organizers, and then had it fixed. Okay, so let's take a look at this game. Yeah, my opponent, by the way, was unlike most opponents that I usually get. He was actually around my age, maybe a little bit younger, hard to say, but approximately my age. Maybe he was like 35, or possibly he's younger than that. Yeah, it's possible he was like 30, but yeah. Oh man, my throat is really dry already. Okay, so I was white. It's a long introduction, right? Do you guys think my introductions are too long before I jump into the game? If you do, I always put a timestamp link in the description below that you can just click on. It'll skip the introduction, go straight to the first move. But I think it really helps to paint a picture of everything. Because I figure you kind of want a story when you're watching these videos. Okay, so I played e4, shocker there, and he played c6. Now, the tournament was 2 weeks ago. I'm making this video, after the fact. I'm trying to remember what I thought he played. I'm trying to remember if he did play the Caro-Kann. I can't even remember anymore. I'm old and yeah, I can't remember what I reviewed that he played. Yeah. I think it was the Caro-Kann though. So I played d4, d5, knight c3, Nothing to talk about here, so hopefully none of you are expecting me to discuss these moves. D takes e4. This is all just mainline Caro-Kann, right? Nothing to talk about. Knight takes e4. And then we get to that point where there's 3 moves for black. And what are we going to see? And again, I'm trying to remember what my opponent, like I reviewed my opponent having been played. That's terrible grammar. I think he played bishop f5 though. I think that's what I saw in his games. I can't remember. But here he played knight f6. So, oh boy. This is 2024 New Year's Open flashbacks. If you guys are watching this video, or if you're watching this video and you haven't seen round 1 and round 9 from that tournament, which was about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, I highly recommend you watch those videos first. So first watch round 1 and then watch round 9. Well, you should watch the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and then 9. But yeah, if you guys did watch those 2 videos, yeah, I think you already know what's going to happen here. So yeah, already at this point, I was just getting a feeling, and my paranoia was acting up here. I don't even know if you can call it paranoia based on what happened in round 9 from that previous tournament. But basically, yeah, did he prepare against me? I am probably the easiest person to prepare against, perhaps in the world, for numerous reasons. So, and people have been doing it frequently. Some people have made fun of me before, like, okay, at my level, nobody's going to prepare against me, but you'd be surprised. Yeah, so here I was already like, you know. And we both play the moves quickly. I think it's kind of I mean, we didn't play them instantly, but we played them very quickly. I think there's a bit of a psychological thing between tournament chess players when this happens. He took with the e-pawn. I'm always waiting for that moment for somebody to take with a g-pawn, because it is a playable move, the Bronstein-Larsen variation. There's only one tournament player who I know plays it, but I'm always waiting for that to happen. But he took with the e-pawn. I played c3. Just a versatile move. Not super common, c3, but I like it for various reasons, which I'm not going to go into, just because so many of my opponents prepare against me now. I don't really want to go into all the details of things. Okay, so he played bishop d6. This is all common. Excuse me. Bishop d3. Castles. And let me just look at the score sheet here. Well, no, not yet. I do have it in front of me, though. Queen c2. And we're both playing quickly at this point. I think even a couple other players like next to us were kind of looking over, because they were like still on move 3. We're already on move 8. He played rook e8 check. I blocked with my knight. And he played h5. So here, again, my paranoia of yet another opponent preparing against me is very strong here. This is the same position that I had in round 1 of the previous tournament and round 9, where a 2200 helped his friend prepare against me. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's not like this is a unusual position. I get this online a fair bit. So it's still a question of if my opponent prepared against me or not. Okay. I castled. He plays h4. I played h3. He plays knight d7. We're still following games 1 and 9 from the previous tournament. This is move 11 now. I played bishop d2. He plays knight f8. I played rook a e1. And so this is move 13. And on my clock at this point, it read it read an hour and 35 minutes because I actually gained 5 minutes on my clock by making my moves quickly due to the increment. So yeah, I was at an hour 35, and I think my opponent had the same amount. Like we both had, I might have had like a minute more than him, but yeah, we both had a lot of time on our clock. And again, I think the other boards next to us were like maybe 4 moves in, and we're in move 13 here. And yeah, so I was just kind of waiting to see like, okay, what did he have up his sleeve? You know, did he prepare against me? And then he played G6. And there it is. So G6 does no longer follow games 1 or 9. This is a deviation. And I'm just reading my notes here. So after the game, I was talking to somebody else in a group of chess players that I knew. And then my opponent came up and saw that I was out there and started talking to me. And we discussed the game. So the first thing he did was confess that he did find my YouTube channel and prepared for me. And it's hard to hear that, honestly. You might think that is a good thing, or I don't know, but I actually did not feel great when he said that. Like, and the way he said it, it was like a doctor delivering bad, like a diagnosis that you have cancer or something. The way he said it, he's like, just to let you know, I did find your YouTube channel, and I did prepare against you. Like he said it like that, like very serious. But yeah, so we discussed the game, and he said, so apparently G6, he said, was actually already part of his repertoire. So he didn't play that specifically against me. He might have maybe reviewed it again or chose to play it. I don't know, but it's not like he specifically picked out that move to play against me. Yeah, he said that it is a move that he regularly plays, but he did still prepare against me, he said. At the same time, I shouldn't feel bad because I did prepare against him, you know. The difference is I have to go through so much work to do it. Like I have to be like, I'm so easy to prepare against. And yeah. Okay. So reading my notes. Oh yeah. So G6 during the game, I couldn't remember if I had this line in my repertoire, if I had a line prepared against it or not. And if I did, I couldn't remember it. And so I, at the time, thought that he did prepare it against me just because I've had this position so many times before, and then he kind of just confused me here. And I was really, yeah, I thought he did. But yeah, I actually had seen this in the past and have a line against it. I just couldn't remember it. I will say that in my discussions with my opponent after the game, that I was actually pleased in my ability to recall and to discuss the position with him without a board, just verbally talking, because I'm not sure if all of you know this or not, but I have full-blown aphantasia, meaning I can't visualize anything, not remotely. God, there's bugs flying around. Not even remotely. Like, you can look it up, but yeah, if I close my eyes or my eyes open, I cannot even visualize a circle, or no matter how hard I try. So to discuss the game in a lot of detail, I felt was really cool. And yeah, I was able to pick out like all the key major points in the game and discuss them and come up with different ideas. And my opponent was able to stay with me as well. And I don't know, it just felt cool, man. Like two guys talking chess, and it might have also been just because we just finished playing the game and it was still fresh in our minds. But that was kind of a cool feeling. So I think I'm making progress with that. Where's my notes here? Yeah, and I think I'm starting to get a bit better with recall of a game. Okay, so after G6, so that really worried me, and I spent 8 minutes laboring over what to play. I had a bunch of ideas. One of them was, I've got a lot of notes for this game. It's like, holy crap. It's okay. One of them was bishop h6, which is a weird move. But I don't remember the exact lines I was looking at, but this created a lot of it was kind of unclear, kind of muddy and aggressive, which I thought wasn't the worst idea to go to play in such a position when it might, like playing it solid when I'm not familiar with G6 so much. It might have been worth that risk. Where'd my notes go here? Yeah. So I don't. In my notes, I didn't mention anything beyond bishop h6, but I forget what my follow-up ideas were. If he tried to attack my bishop, I don't know. Again, this is 2 weeks ago, and I don't really remember. I might have actually taken the knight, potentially, or maybe I would just retreat. Yeah, I really can't remember. If I had taken, if he takes with the bishop, now he's not covering f4, so maybe I can go knight f4, and if he returns, then I might take on g6, you know. Check, right? So there were like ideas like, whoops, there were ideas like this. Oh yeah, my computer's really slow here for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why my computer's going really slow right now. And I don't know if I would want to trade rooks here, maybe. Or maybe, like, I don't know. This was interesting. There were lines like that I was considering. So I was considering bishop h6. And then I was also looking at f4, stopping g5, because I think that was the main concern I had, was if I don't do anything, black can play g5. And then g4 and just start attacking. So that was my concern. By the way, I'm not sure if I just showed this, but if he played g5 here, I did have, there were some other plans that I had here. First of all, he can't approach my bishop. I might have been willing to just leave the bishop there and then maybe played c4, knight c3, something like this. Again, I forget. But yeah, it was kind of risky, so I didn't end up playing bishop h6. And then f4, I was considering. I have the reason I'm slow with my notes here is I've got a big wall of notes that I have to scan through every time. Yeah, so I didn't like f4 because of why is this going so slow? Is it not my turn? That's why. Okay. So I was considering f4, but then I didn't like f5 when my dark squared bishop gets terrible and my light squared bishop is no better. And bishop f4 doesn't work because of this common tactic in this line, rook takes e2, right? Removing the defender of f4 after a recapture, he takes on f4. In some lines, you can actually do that, because then you can follow up with queen e4, and if the pawn isn't here, sometimes like, and the knight isn't here, you can do that, but it only works in certain positions. So that's why I didn't play bishop f4. And knight f4 I was considering, and I think that's what my opponent after the game said was he thought I was going to play. What scared me away from playing it was I was scared of g5. Yeah, I didn't like that. And then if we retreat, I was thinking, well, what was the point of that? What am I gaining from that? But I believe this is fine, but we would have to play knight h5. And the knight is apparently safe there on h5. It can't really get attacked. Even though it can't retreat, like it can't escape from h5, it can also not get attacked. So it's kind of a scary move to play, and it is a weird looking move to play. But I think that was right. Like, I'm gonna put on the engine here, if it doesn't kill my computer. Yeah, so knight f4 would have been fine, and if g5, yeah, knight h5 or trade on e8 first and then knight h5. Yeah, so let me turn off the engine. So, but yeah, g5 scared me, and I didn't consider knight h5. That's a weird move to consider, I think, with the knight just being trapped on h5. So I ended up playing c4 after an 8-minute think. Then my opponent played f5, which I saw, of course, but I didn't really have a specific plan against it. But at the same time, nothing. I already ruled out those other candidate moves, so I played c4, just expecting to find a plan against f5 if he ended up playing it. So I actually, after he did play f5, I spent a whopping 24 minutes on my reply. 24 minutes. That's an eternity. I actually thought I was kind of almost bothering my opponent after a while, because that was cause he never got up the whole time. He sat there the whole time, and he was focused too. Like, he wasn't looking around the room. Like, he was looking at the board, and he was focused. So for 24 minutes, he was waiting for my reply. Yeah, this was tough. My notes say, so it did help that I played the first 13 moves and instantly and got 5 minutes. I gained 5 minutes on my clock, so I did have time to invest here. I wasn't in a hurry. The move I played, though, is actually a mistake. Despite spending 24 minutes on the move. I don't know. I had trouble finding ideas here. So I ended up playing f4, which is kind of funny because I ruled it out a move before. But then I ended up playing here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to play f4, but I don't know. I think I forget what I was thinking at this point, but again, I think he's threatening g5 for one thing. And I think I had ideas of, if I played f4 down the road, I might be able to play something like bishop e1, attacking his h-pawn, ideas like that. Yeah, and so I think f4 may have been a mistake because it controls because although it controls the dark squares, I wrote, it also limits white's piece mobility, right? Because we're taking a square away from our knight and our bishop to traverse, and it also creates weaknesses on d4 and f4, these pawns, because, well, you'll see why. But even though Like, even though they're protected by the knight and the f4 is protected by 3 pieces right now, yeah, we still kind of have to babysit them, and black can actually attack them, especially the d4 square. Yeah, and so despite my very long think... Oh, sorry, no, I just wrote that. Sorry. Sometimes the notes are worse. If I write too much, it actually makes it harder to make a video. Yeah, so instead of f4, the computer prefers almost any other white move. Like any other move. Almost. f4 was just too weakening. F4 makes f4 weakness, d4 weakness, and it takes squares away from my pieces. So, yeah. My opponent played knight e6, and yeah, then we can feel it. Like, this was not unexpected, but yeah, we can start to really feel the pressure on f4 and d4 now. Here I played c5. The computer didn't love it. It's not the worst move in the world, but the computer didn't love it. It said that there were better options. I think because c5 doesn't really accomplish anything for white. We kick out the bishop for one move, and we get a bit more space, but black's bishop wants to reroute itself anyways. If you remember game 1 and game 9 from the previous tournament, I think even the same maneuver happened where the bishop reroutes to f6 and targets this d pawn. So yeah, c5 is actually okay, but yeah, there were better options. And again, it was just helping his bishop improve. So yeah, my opponent played bishop e7. I played bishop e3, defending, because he's now attacking d4 twice with the discovery of his queen when he moved his bishop. He played bishop f6. And then I played queen c3 because, well, he's attacking d4 thrice. I'm defending it twice. So there were no other ways to defend it. I didn't want to go to c4 because of b5, right? And then if I go queen b4, there's a5. And then my queen can no longer defend the d4 pawn. And queen a4, same thing. Yeah, same thing. There's b5. And if I did go queen c4, b5 en passant, what did I not like about that? There was something I didn't like about that. Maybe I could have done that. Let me put it on the engine. No, but so why what did I miss? It says there's multiple moves. They're not obvious. There's bishop b7. What is this? Is this right? And it's suggesting knight c5 and queen. It's suggesting a lot of weird moves here. Is the computer drunk? Let's see. Knight c5. Oh, yeah. I forgot that our bishop on e3 is undefended. Yeah, so he can just win a pawn there. Yeah. And then he's going to get better mobility here. Okay, let me turn off the engine. It's killing my computer. Yeah, my computer is dying. So yeah. So in the game I played queen c3, but this is actually a mistake. Because of basically what I just missed yet again. This bishop is undefended. And I saw it, but then I forgot about it. And so I'll go back and show you the best move in a minute, but yeah, my opponent took on c5, and that was kind of gut wrenching. Like in this position, I already felt bad. I mean, as soon as my opponent played g6, I didn't feel good, like and then because g6 caught me off guard, and then he played f5, and then I spent 24 minutes, and I'm already kind of entangled here. Knight e6 was a lot of pressure. I already felt that I'm worse here and could close to losing. And then once he took on c5, I felt, yeah, the game's over basically. Which was really hard to face, but I played on because why wouldn't you? Now the best move instead of queen c3 was actually, I think it's a little bit hard to play, but it was actually bishop f2. Giving up the d4 pawn. So that's why it's kind of hard to play. It's hard to give up a pawn like that, but yeah, it would have been the best move. Black is still much better, but this would have been the best try. Bishop f2, and then just letting white's pieces breathe here. And white can get equality if black isn't accurate. For example, black's light squared bishop actually gets really bad after a bunch of trades. So if knight takes d4, and so if we take with the knight, rook takes d1, so he doesn't get back rank issues, and then we recapture, and bishop takes d4. We don't recapture. That's kind of a key thing. It's easy to miss these types of moves because you get into the flow and you just want to trade, right? But then bishop c4, and I think this is, I forget the evaluation here, but I think black is just a smidgen better. I think it's close to equal, if I remember. So white is down a pawn, but black's light squared bishop is bad. His king is questionable. We have an active rook, So this would not be simple for black to play. Like this is, white is close to equal here. So that would have been the best way to play. I think that requires a lot of maturity, though, and a bit of foresight to recognize that and just give up that pawn. But yeah, I played queen c3. He took on c5. I recaptured with the queen. He takes my bishop. I played queen c2. And I'm trying to remember why I played queen c2. Oh yeah, because I was scared if I don't play it, let's just say I played a3, then he can go rook takes e2, I think, followed by bishop d4 with a check. So I wanted to get the queen out of other tactics, so I played queen c2. He played bishop takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4. Just a reminder, my opponent's rated 1300, like 1375. Over the board chess is hard. Also, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I think this was my other opponent who was 2200 online. I took on e3. He recaptured, of course. I played king h1. And he played bishop e6. I think after a very long think. I didn't write that in my notes, but I think it was here where he thought for a very long time before playing bishop e6. I played bishop c4. No, it might have, I forget if it was here or not. Anyways, he played rook d8. I traded. He took back with the queen. And I played queen f2. So I was close to resigning before, but then after I played queen f2 here, I thought, hey, wait a minute. I might have a little something. I'm still fighting. I'm trying to be tenacious. It's not being tenacious is not a quality that I possess. but I know how beneficial it is. Yeah, so I'm still fighting here. I'm down 2 pawns. Yeah, I'm down 2 pawns, but I am now threatening. Well, I'm going to win a pawn next move. Yeah, so I'm still fighting here. He took on a2. I took on h4 since he's defending a7, plus this is a nice pawn to have anyways. And I actually liked my queen on h4 here. I thought, okay, I actually have some play. I've got some chances. This is not nothing. This is not nothing. Black needs to watch out. I might have some drawing chances here. You know, my rook, if I can get my queen on f6, then suddenly his rook is tied down to the back rank. Yeah, I don't really at this point, it's not as crucial for me to lose more pawns because my queen and my rook might be able to do something. So I still felt that I was worse. Like I would prefer black here, but it's a lot better than it was, let's say, 5 moves ago. He played queen d5, which I think made the most sense to me. There was some specific reasons why, which I can't remember. But yeah, he played queen d5. No. Sorry, it's the other way around. I thought queen f6 for me would be very annoying for him. So I thought he would play queen e5. Oh wait, never mind. His rook's under attack. Okay, it wasn't here. I missed. Okay, yeah. So he played queen d5. I played rook e1, getting my rook on an open file. He played a5. When he played this, I felt that this was the wrong approach for him. I thought this gave me a little bit too much play with my next move. And here I thought that queen d4 made a lot more sense to stop me from playing queen f6. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to remember. But I also could have done that last move. Why did I not? Like, why didn't I play queen f6 here? Oh, I remember why. The reason I didn't play queen f6 the move before, because I think that like he could just challenge my queen. So bring the rook up or the queen back or the queen here, something like that. And then my queen can't sit there. So I played rook e1 first so that if I did give a check here, there were tactics. So for example, well, it's his turn now. So if he ignored it, and then I play queen f6, and if he challenged me, then I have tactics like this, which wins a piece, right? If he takes, if he takes my rook, then I take his queen, and if he moves his king, actually that's actually checkmate. So yeah, so that's why I played rook e1 first, and that's why instead of a5, I thought he should have stopped me from going to f6. That could cause him real hurt if he lets my queen on f6. The engine says that a5 is actually fine. Everything is winning here for black. But yeah, I don't know. This felt needlessly dangerous for black to allow me to play queen f6 here. So I did play queen f6. And again, like I felt that I'm losing, but I felt black is playing a dangerous game. This is, black has to be careful here. I'm very close. I could even, again, if black is sloppy, I could even win. Again, if he plays a move like queen d6, I'm actually winning. So yeah, there was hope. There was hope. Also, same thing. Queen d4 loses because of rook e8 again. So my opponent played b5, and I played h4. I was kind of happy when I saw this idea. So I'm still being annoying and giving black something to worry about. Now, if the threat here with h4 is, well, h5 essentially. So if black just plays something like a4, then actually I think I'm even winning here after h5. Yeah, so if he played like a4 or b4, I think h5 is winning. If he takes it, I think I can even just do a rook lift. I think a rook lift is winning. You know, he can give me a check. I don't think it does anything. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. Like, he can go back, but then check. I mean, I think this is winning. Something like, yeah, this wins the queen, right? Rook e3. If he goes here, I mean, at the very least, there should be a draw. I mean, I don't know if I repeat. Because this, if I go rook e3, I think he's escaping now. No, this mate here. See, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous for black. Yeah, so that's the threat. But my opponent, credit to him. I mean, he's played, I think he played, well, he's been playing very well. And he played rook, he played queen d2. So I don't have time to play h5 now because he's on my rook. I played rook e7, right? Threatening a mate in 2 and protecting the rook. My opponent played queen c1, check, king h2, queen takes f4, and yeah, then we see the writing on the wall because. And I do resign here. It happened. It happened quickly. I actually thought I had chances here when I pushed the h pawn, and then I resigned because what are we going to do, right? If I go king h3, then he brings down the rook, which is mate in 2, and if I bring the king back, then rook still goes down all the way down, and it's mate there in a couple moves. So there was actually no way to avoid it. In fact, yeah, here I was just losing the whole time. I don't like, what could I have done? I mean, I did make a couple of inaccuracies out of the opening, like in the middle game, but my opponent played very well and he had 0 inaccuracies the whole game. He didn't make a single blunder, a single mistake, or an inaccuracy even. He had an average center pawn loss of 11. So he basically played perfectly. And he's 1300. That's just how it is over the board, folks. It's hard. It's very hard. Yeah, so to summarize, the G6 in the opening really threw me off guard. And I forgot my theory against it, which kind of rattled me a bit. And then later, I didn't play accurately when I played f4, which was a bit of a positional weakness. Still not losing. It was like maybe -1 at the most or something there. But then queen c3 kind of sealed the deal. And my opponent gave me nothing to work with. He played perfectly. Like 11 center pawn loss. Right? And he actually ended up finishing 3rd place in the tournament, in the section, winning money and a trophy and gaining 250 points. It's rough out there. It is rough out there. Yeah, so he gained 250 points. So he's like on his way to 1700 now because he's like 16, or yeah, he's 1600 now, 1600 something. Yeah, like 1650, something like that. I can't do my math. Yeah, and you're welcome. You're welcome, Oliver. I don't know what else to say. It's just, it was a tough round. My opponent played perfect and I didn't play perfect, and that cost me the game. Yeah, I still would have had chances had I not played queen c3, but I think my will was already broken at that point. Was the G6, the G6, and then the F4. Yeah. So it was rough because, as I say, I was actually having a good tournament, 3 out of 4. Then I lose round 5, and suddenly that eliminates any hopes of a trophy. Even if I win the last round, at the time, I think I thought there's no hope for even 3rd place, because that would be 4 out of 6. Yeah, that won't win a trophy. So I needed to win the last 2 games to win a trophy, and I lost this round. So it feels bad, man. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments of what you think about the round. Congrats to my opponent for playing a very nice game. No mistakes, no inaccuracies. And yeah, stay tuned for round 6. The final round coming soon. Okay, thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you next time.